This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Yes, finally, we are back and we are live on Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority. You're chilling at home watching us live on YouTube, or maybe not live on YouTube according to today, but you're live on my Instagram at Omar Adori, and that's what counts, because I'm going to need you for the next hour to keep me company on the best show in Sharjah. Right, okay, so coming up on today's show, Cristiano Ronaldo smashes another record. This guy, at 36 years young, is still doing it big, and we're so impressed by all the stuff he's doing. That's the thing. On the fitness segment, is it harder to disengage than to engage? Think about that for a second. Let that marinate. How do you snap out of bad habits to get back on track? Fitness tunnel vision is the clue I'm going to give you, and that's going to be on the show today as well. The UAE Abdullah Sultan Al Aryani won the country's first gold medal in the men's 50-meter rifle at the Tokyo Paralympic Games on Friday. I got so much respect for them, man. Honestly, every time I'm lazy, I look over that and I just think, Omar, get your stuff together. I'm also asking you a question. Should an athlete be punished for tweeting something 7 years before as a teenager? There's a certain athlete called Mark Bolo who gets fined and punished by the FA for tweeting something at the age of 14, and now that he's a professional footballer, he's getting it in the neck. Find out all that and more on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Man, it feels good to be back. Welcome back to the halftime show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international and local, right, for the fitness segment. Now, it has been a week since I gave you a fitness segment, so it's about that time. And it is the question I have for you today, and I want you to text me on 4215 Ittisalat or slide into my DMs at Omar Adori and let me know. Is it hard to disengage than it is to engage when it comes down to your fitness goals? Think about that for a second now. Now, normally, if you got a crowd around you and you get into it, let's say you're doing a class or you're about to, have a workout, is it easier to engage than to disengage? And sometimes you're having a bad day. We're going to switch it up a little bit. You're having a bad day and you're thinking, you know what? I can't get this day. I can't shake this off. I can't move around a little bit. This is really, really eating me up. And you go and you try and do other things when it comes down to the health and fitness game. But that's where mentally, emotionally, and physically it all comes together in the sense of goal setting. So the question I'm asking you today, is it harder to disengage than it is to engage when it comes down to your fitness goals? Let's give you a scenario now. So you're having a long day at work and you have a workout afterwards. You get to the gym, you put your gear on, you're ready to go, and then you're just not feeling it. And that is the question that I'm asking today for everyone. Why? Because sometimes the day carries on. Now, the easier thing to say is just let it go. Don't worry about it. Focus on something new. But the hard part is, when does it start? When do you have to start disengaging? So as soon as you finish work, can you switch off? Are you that type of person that can switch off straight away and get into a routine? For example, like I said earlier, you've wrapped up from work. It's been a long day and you're thinking, oh man, I still have to work out, or I can just stop off and get some food. We've all been there. Hey, I'm just telling the truth. But you get to the gym and you take that step, and as soon as you get there, you get your gear on, the music is decent, you're in that mood, and then all of a sudden you're like, nah, I haven't shaken this off. So that was the question of, disengage compared to engage. Now, what I will say to you is this: whatever sport you play, whatever goal you have, that's something we normally have to do. Sometimes you're focused on what you're doing. You don't actually see what's happening around you, and you got to get this workout in. Now, whether it's a run, whether it's some boxing, whether it's yoga, or even if you're just doing some weights, and you think, okay, I've got to get these reps done. That whole point of having tunnel vision, especially now, following the pandemic, following, not being able to go out, then being able to go out, then finding the right place, and then finding the right environment, and trying to balance all these things together. That in itself is the challenge. The tunnel vision, and someone said this to me once. He said to me that when it comes down to tunnel vision, it's only considered tunnel vision is if you can see a little bit of light. If you don't see a little bit of light, then it's just dark. You can't really get into it. If you do see a little bit of light, you're getting there. And he also said something that was very interesting. He said, if you see too much light, that means you're in your comfort zone. So all these factors made me think about how we can actually engage versus disengage in a time now where our focus is limited. Social media, technology, all these different things distract us. When you're training or exercising and all of a sudden your phone goes off, we all kind of just stop and then look towards the phone. It's very rare that someone just ignores it. That is the kind of tunnel vision we're talking about when it comes to disengaging versus engaging. Now, I am seeing some United fans jump into the Instagram live at Omar Al-Duri, and I know you know what time it is, because coming up next, we're talking Cristiano Ronaldo as he smashes another record. What makes this guy so special? If you want to know, stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95. Here's some Fuse ODG Bois Meat. Here we go.
This is the halftime show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the halftime show with Omar Al-Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Thank you very much for everyone who's locked in with me for the hour on Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah. Shout out to everyone who is tuned in as well on the Instagram live at Omar Al-Duri. Florin, Amna, Amda, Az, Mustafa, Maria, Rashid, Terry, Masood, Murad. Have I missed anyone out yet? Nah, man, I think I'm all right, actually. Maha, Tanya as well, and Majid Marzouk, and Yusuf and Agil as well. Thank you very much for tuning in, and shout out to everyone who is locked in on a fine Saturday afternoon. Okay, this guy keeps breaking records, Cristiano Ronaldo breaks another record to become the highest scoring men's international player. I mean, this guy, honestly, the motivation behind what he's done, and now he's coming to the Premier League, which, by the way, if you're a United fan, you're probably gassed, and if you're not a United fan, you're probably wondering to see what he's going to do to your team when he comes up to it. Yes, he might be 36 years young, but the motivation of people actually doubting him throughout his career has been something that has only motivated Cristiano to be able to reach heights anyone would dream of. Wherever he's gone, he's scored goals, and this is the thing. 84 goals previously in the English top flight of football. There's been speculation that he might be trying to surpass the 100, which I'm sure he will do. And then also, if you think about it, even at Sporting Lisbon, he still made his mark out there as a kid. Then at United, scoring record was slow to take off, but after 6 years, he left having netted 118 times in all competitions in 292 games. Since then, and I don't know if you agree with me on this one, he peaked at Real Madrid. He was a different player altogether. Real Madrid is where Ronaldo perfected his craft and predator into scoring 450 goals in 438 games. Nuts. And in 3 years at Juventus, he hit the back of the net 101 times in 134 games, and people still said he didn't have a successful time in Italy. I mean, that is crazy. In total, Ronaldo's notched up 674 goals in 895 club appearances, as well as 229 assists. This guy has been motivated by trophies, proving people wrong. People might say the rivalry between him and Lionel Messi. But here's the thing. He's adapted his game wherever he's played in several positions, on the right, off the left. And as we know now, a mature Cristiano is playing more central to finish off the goals. But why will that benefit United? It will benefit United because there's too many players that flow inverted in and out, that will shoot from outside, that will come to the ball. If Cristiano's got his head right, and he normally does know exactly how to adapt his game to the opposition he's playing against and also to the team he's playing for. And that's why I'm very interested to see how he'll be looking after himself. All the players that have trained with him have always said he is the example in the gym. Extra time on the free kicks, extra time on the penalties, and extra work on himself. And that's why his career has been fantastic throughout. But that is now where we're looking at. The Premier League is probably at its most competitive, but we haven't seen this in a long time. Chelsea's formidable. They're European champions. They're in the Premier League. Manchester City are Premier League champions. They're in the league. Liverpool, former Premier League, former European champions in the league. Manchester United now, you cannot say they're not contenders for the title. They will be there as well. And of course, I'm looking at that and thinking that's basically your top four that would normally compete. Your Leicesters, your West Hams, your Evertons, I'm sure will be trying to spoil the party for all their rivals. When you look at it in the context of trying to understand that right now it's probably the most competitive it's ever been. And because of the money that's been invested in these teams, it's almost increased the gulf between a lot of leagues across the world. And that's where now we're trying to focus on Cristiano Ronaldo. Why would he move back to England when it's at its peak? To prove another point. So I'm thinking now that with Cristiano reaching the ages, he signed a 2-year contract with almost an extension for 1 more year on top of that. Plus, and yes, we spoke about it here on the show as well, he gets his number 7 t-shirt. He's thanked Eddie. Cavani's let that go. United maybe didn't give him a chance or a choice to do that. You know, I still think Cavani is going to come up with a very, very important goal this year, just to remind football fans across the world that despite the phenom that's Cristiano Ronaldo, despite Sancho's and Bruno Fernandes and Pogba's, that Cavani, when it counts, has the experience to be able to make a difference in the big games. The question is, will they be able to take that extra step and win the league? 4215 Etisalat, or slide into my DMs at Omar Duri and let me know. Cristiano's back. He's broken another record. But will Manchester United win the league? And if they don't, will that be considered as a failure? Let me know. Here's live for you, Snake Hips and Jess Glynn. Enjoy, folks.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. Sorry for everyone that lost the sound on the Instagram live. People are like, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. And I'm talking to them. I'm just rambling on and they just can't hear anything I'm saying. But yeah, we are back now. And if you are just tuning in and you missed the show, what a great show we've had so far. We've been talking about how hard it is to disengage compared to engaging when it comes down to your health and fitness goals. That was in the first segment. In the second segment, Cristiano Ronaldo smashes another record, being the all-time international scorer, and he does come back to United following his suspension with Portugal, so he should be fit for the Newcastle game. Hopefully that goes under the quarantine rules. So that's regarding Cristiano Ronaldo. And also, here's something for you guys. I came across this article the other day and I want to see what you guys think of this. Now, Middlesbrough's Mark Bowler has been charged by the FA with aggravated misconduct for comments he made on social media when he was 14, 9 years ago. The FA has alleged that Bowler, now 23, who signed for Middlesbrough from Blackpool in 2019, posted a reference, which was bad, facing a written warning, an education course, and a potential 3-game ban for the post that he made when he was 14. How nuts is that? I can't believe what we're hearing. And you see all this stuff that's happening in Hungary and England and international and racism and all that stuff. Nothing. And this kid gets banned and warned for a tweet he did when he was 14. Unreal. An FA statement said Middlesbrough FC Mark Bowler has been charged with misconduct for a breach of FA Rule E3 in relation to a social media post on April 14, 2012. He was 14. This is insane. I can't, firstly, and I don't know, maybe I'm old school, but firstly, should you be on social media at 14 anyway? That's the first thing. And then secondly, you get punished 9 years later when you're playing for a team and you're in social media, in the limelight, you're a footballer, etc. It doesn't matter what sport you're in really, but you get punished for that. Should he be punished for that? Education, maybe? I don't know. It just doesn't sit down well with me, this article. Because in the narrative and in the concept, the context that everything is in, with what's going on around the world now and all this madness that's happening, and we're worrying about a 14-year-old's tweet. Now, it's wrong, and I agree, it shouldn't have been said, and there's things that obviously we need to educate our children, our youth about 100%. But you're flagging that up 9 years later. Unreal. Anyway, in better news, let's talk about something more positive now. The Tokyo Paralympics is still going on. UAE's Sultan Al-Aryani wins gold, which is great. He won the country's first gold medal in the men's 50-meter rifle at the Tokyo Paralympics on Friday, which was fantastic. Love hearing stuff like that. This is the thing, whenever I see the Paralympics and I'm feeling lazy, I'm looking over, I'm thinking, that's real motivation. You know, we were speaking about engaging, disengaging. Sometimes disengaging is just as hard. If you're disengaging and you're thinking, I'm having a long day, it's been tough at work, I don't want to work out, I don't want to train, I want to put the time in. Just think about those people that put the time in even when they don't want to. And that's when I think, wow, man, Omar, get your act together, man. Honestly, that is big. But yeah, shout out to Sultan Al-Aryani, I said his name right. He got gold after Muhammad Al-Hamadi won a bronze in the men's 100-meter T34 at the Tokyo Games, which is fantastic. And a question I had for you today is it harder to disengage than it is to engage when it comes down to your fitness goals? And if you have any tips or tricks, what do you do to be able to do that? Share that with us. Text me on 4215, it's Salat Urdu, or sign into my DMs at Omar Al-Duri. Cristiano Ronaldo was on the menu earlier. I'll tell you now, the banter was crazy when it came down to what these guys were saying about if United don't win the league this year, is that disappointment? Is that failure? And I say this because for many years a certain manager was being criticized for finishing the top four without the resources required, and all of a sudden now everyone wants to do it again. This is crazy, you know. Again, at the Instagram live, people are saying the sound is off again. I'm not sure why that is, but I promise you, once I get off live, I will try and sort that out for you. We're going to take a break now. We've got Miss You Bad by Mr. Easy. Love this tune. Shout out to Sam and Rosanna as well, who are in the studio with me. And I will be right back after this track. Peace.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host from Everything Sport, International and Local. What a week it's been. And by the way, thank you to Gabby and Super Mario for getting all of our episodes on YouTube back on track. It felt weird not having those shows back, and got a chance to watch the episode 300 with Brian Keane, man. What a guy. It was such a great episode. Having him on the show, you know, two-time bestseller, you know, to be able to discuss a couple of really interesting topics with the fitness mindset and also rewire your mindset as well. Very cool. And he dropped an exclusive that he has a third book coming out this year as well. So shout out to Brian for coming on the 300th show. Fantastic. What's up, Paul, Maria, Spicy, Lil, Rashid, of course, Masoud, Florin, and everyone. Thank you very much. Sorry about the sound on Instagram. I don't know what was happening on there, but we are back on track now. And we were talking about, is it harder to disengage than it is to engage when it comes down to your health and fitness goals? And also, do you feel that like bad habits start to creep in? I know for a fact, for me, if I'm not training, I'm not eating right. If I'm not eating right, I'm not training. If I'm not training and eating right, then my recovery has to be on point. Sleep has to be on point. There's all these factors that really do challenge us, you know. I'm doing well, Lil. Thank you very much. How are you? Reset 2.0. No, I think I'll leave that to Brian Keane when it comes down to the books. I had my one book and I was happy with it, but he's had two books out and he's got a third one on the way. So shout out to Brian Keane. We also discussed Cristiano Ronaldo as he broke another world record. This guy just keeps getting better and better. At 36 years old, he's still doing incredible things. UAE Abdullah Sultan Al-Aryani won the country's first gold medal in the men's 50-meter rifle at the Tokyo Paralympic Games on Friday, which was incredible. I think all these things really put things in perspective. You know, when we're feeling lazy or if we're not feeling up to date, and then all of a sudden you see, you know, what's going on. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's incredible to see that. It helps you practice gratitude, helps you practice mindfulness as well. When we're not feeling up to it and we're just thinking, oh, this is really challenging, you know, then you see what these guys are doing, it just puts things in perspective. And I think that's really cool, man. So shout out to all the you know, athletes who are competing at the Paralympics in Tokyo. It's as soon as I start to see, you know, even if they don't win gold, even if they don't win silver, the fact that they're participating and really they got purpose, they got a goal, that always makes a big difference. Masoud's asking a question: what's something makes every player similar, united to each other? let me read that again. What something makes every player similar or united to each other? Can you tell me more about that, Masood? And I'll answer that before we hit the Adhan, which will be very, very soon. Mustafa, I hope you can hear me now. And Tanya, as always, representing and listening to this show. There's also another thing I wanted to mention to you guys as well. The health and fitness segment normally is inspired by you guys. You guys drop in questions, you always slide in comments, and that is something that helps me kind of put that segment together. But if there's anything else that you guys want us to research or look into, please do shoot them our way, and then we try and build that one segment per show where it's dedicated to health and fitness. And that's something that is all thanks to you guys for your interaction, for your engagement. That's another cool thing that I like to see when it comes down to that. And by the way, the show that I put on the other day, Malice in the Palace, if you haven't watched that on Netflix, that is definitely worth a watch. The show on Meta World Peace, Ron Artist, Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace, I think it was, Steve Jackson, wow, Reggie Miller. Honestly, even if you're not a basketball fan, definitely check that out. It was so impressive. Okay, Masood's asked the question, what's the quality of every player that keeps united with each other? What's the quality of every player that keeps united with each other? Okay, I think I get what you mean, Masood. I think when it comes down to studying players, he said, keep you connected. I think when it comes down to the connection of camaraderie, I think it's down to the coaching behind the scenes to be able to put a team together, because personalities are different, reactions are different, medical backgrounds are different, even the emotional intelligence is different on how you blend in with a team. I'll give you an example. I've just started coaching a team, shout out to Condado, recently, and what I like about it is there's different personalities, different dynamics. There's quieter players, there's bigger players, there's more experience, but the good thing is it's down to me to be able to put that together for them in terms of environment, and that's what a coach has to do, because you are going to find certain players react to certain things that trigger you off as well, which is another thing that coaches have to notice. Nowadays, more than anything, psychology plays a huge role in coaching. It plays a huge role in understanding what the problem is, identifying it, and also trying to solve it rather than just point it out. Because everyone now has an opinion. Everyone kind of point out problems. But when it comes down to the coaching side and you see the work ethic, you see the effort that's put in, that makes a big difference. And then hopefully that's answered your question on there. We are reaching full time on the halftime show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm so happy to be back in the studio with you guys. It's been incredible. I've missed you guys. I'm not going to lie. It's not the same when I'm not in the studio and when I can't see you live on Instagram at Omar Duri. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, 3 to 4. And if you do miss our shows, they do get uploaded thanks to Super Mario and Gabby on our YouTube channel. I'm sending you love, peace and blessings. Have an incredible Saturday, and I will see you here, same time, same place on Monday.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.